Hi, and welcome to Blogging for Programmers. Today's tip is one of the most downer tips I'm going to have, but it's one of the things you have to get in your mind when you first start this. And I'm drawing the diagram back here. And one of the things that really hurts people is the lack of success, failure. Like failure after failure. You write a blog, nobody reads it. You write a blog, nobody reads it. You write a blog, nobody reads it, right? You get in that pattern. Maybe you start seeing a little bit of increase. That little bit of increase is great. You start feeling, oh yeah, I used to have 10 people. Now I've got 11 people. Now I got 12. Now I got 13. I got 100 views. That is great. Okay, but what happens next? And this killed me on TikTok. I have a TikTok for Disney stuff. You get some success. Okay, that one post right there. Woo, baby, you got 2,000 views. I got 100,000 views on a video once. And it was just me riding Everest at Disney's Animal Kingdom. But then the next post, it was just another 100, another 100, another 100. And I was like, why can't I do that? Why am I not growing? And I got like discouraged. Because I'll be honest with you, recording video is nothing like writing for me. I like making videos, but it's hard work. And sometimes I just like to look at the video myself. And I don't want to produce it well enough for people to see it. But that one time I was like, man, this is incredible. I did it. I'm there. People are going to find me now. That is not how the algorithm works. That is not how any of the algorithms work. They do stuff. We don't know how they do stuff. We don't know why they do stuff. We just know stuff gets done and we don't know why. So be really careful. For my newest blog, I started out with, 10, 20 readers and same thing. And then one day I got this really high number of views. It's like 5,000 views, man. How did this happen? And I'm like, oh no, is somebody attacking me? Are these not even real people? Are these bots? I'm in trouble. Okay. I am paranoid, and I'm paranoid in a DBA sort of way. In a DBA, we know that we look at the stats. If the server's running slower, data, too many rows are created, too many people are trying to log in, there's failures. All of that stuff says someone is doing something wrong. Now, 99.9% of the time, it's just because someone thought, hey, let's write a query. Hey, I'm on the ETL package, and I didn't do it very, very well. Or it just needs that kind of activity, and the newness of it scares you. But I got like these 6,000 views, and it turns out it was put into a newsletter by a certain Brent Ozar. Okay. If you don't know who Brent Ozar is and you're listening to me, I don't even know what's happening because he's a big name. I'm a medium name. I mean, my name's bigger than his, but that's only because there's more letters in it. So Brent put me in his newsletter and I got all these views. And then the next week I'm back down to normal. And I started letting it get in my head just a little bit. I'm like, is this worth it to do 100 when I could get thousands if I did? And I was like, well, really, I don't know that I could make thousands happen. So and then you get all depressed and you're like, I don't know what to do. And then you realize, I go back to episode 1 and I repeat that mantra to myself over and over and over. I'm doing this for me. And I'm doing this because I still have 10, 20, 30 stretching it, years in this industry that I'm going to need to write queries. And there are things I don't remember how to do very quickly. I was just working on a graph thing. I'm using SQL Server Graph now in some work at my company to compare people and show the connections based on different things. And I totally forget how the syntax works. And honestly, I totally forget how the syntax works day to day. I sometimes go, oh yeah, match, you just do this. And the next time I'm like, I got to match this through this, through this. How do I can't conceive of that. So I whip out something I've written, not to advertise, but I whip out something I've written, blog posts and books, and I use it. And if you have a book's worth of knowledge in your head, you should write it. Even if you don't sell it, because it's not going to get that much money. Just saying, not worth it monetarily wise. It's worth it because I wrote down all this stuff I need to know to use these technologies. And so I just grabbed the book. I looked through it. I was like, done. And that's, that's what it's all about. And even that, when I was talking in the last episode about searching for things, finding in a book's kind of hard because you got to put it in the index and right? All these things go together. But don't let success be worse than failure. I don't know if I said this to start with. If I did, I'll cut this out. But a little bit of failure is good. Even a lot of failure. But one thing worse than failure is success. Because you have to maintain success. You don't feel good. It's like companies, the bottom line has to keep going up. And whatever they have to do to keep it going up it's got to be done. And then all of us say, I don't need that. Right? As long as a company is making money enough to pay everybody, make some profits, pay the taxes, and continue to grow a little bit, that's awesome. Right? That's really what you need. But that's not exactly what you need when you have shareholders and all that other stuff. You don't have shareholders yet. You may have shareholders. A company be making you do this. And then it's kind of a problem. But for the most part, you're starting out a blog. You're going to have a little success. You don't have to have all the success initially. It may take you years. It took me years to build a following and the first time. And then following that I did stuff on Simple Talk and, built-in audience. If you can find a platform where you can blog with other people and you can put it out there and get it, read by others without having to market it yourself, that's great. Either way, don't let any success go to your head, and don't let failure go to your head either. It's not about your content. If it's about your content, people will tell you. But just because they can't find you doesn't mean you're not doing well. And just because they find you once doesn't mean your rest of your content sucks. All it means is that they found that content once. And they may think that may be your worst piece of output. You may have written something and it may be terrible, and that's what people found. And they liked or they didn't like. It's not about that. Okay. It's all about learning something, teaching something, and getting it done. And it's hard to tell. It is hard occasionally to tell yourself that when you're sitting there at 2 a.m. writing instead of sleeping, or as I'm doing right now, I just finished writing a blog on SQL and comparing tables. And it's Saturday. I could be doing something else. I'd be watching Saturday morning cartoons. I don't think they still exist, but I got them on DVD, so I can watch them. All right, until next time.